a buyer at these levels, but we'll kind of see what happens with that. There's a lot of drama going on with the whole energy crisis and winter coming up and all of that going on. Um, Apple, you can see Apple coiling pretty tight here for the most part in the past couple of days, right? So that'll be an interesting look. A breakout of Apple to either direction really could propel the market, and we'll definitely want to be paying attention for that. AMD's just kind of drifting down right here, right? Had that nice move, but just drifting down. Amazon, taking on a little bit lower price as well. Google back down to the previous gap, right? So back below, or just right below that 100 level, and we know this 100 level is kind of a key level going into Friday. If it can get above that 100 level and hold that 100 level getting into Friday, which is tomorrow, we could see some good upside there. Meta just basically trading in balance, not really doing much. Microsoft actually looking a little strong this morning, right? Had a nice little pump, still inside yesterday's range, but had a nice little move there. Netflix, after that big gap off of earnings, is pretty much just kind of figuring itself out, still finding its feet. Nvidia doesn't look as weak as AMD, so maybe some more money flowing into Nvidia instead of AMD. Tesla off the big earnings yesterday, right? We saw that this kind of huge candle. I mean, the percentage on just this one candle alone yesterday was 10%, right? So it went up first and then came just falling down. So it's me opening up on a gap lower. So that'll be an interesting look. We'll go ahead and create an alert here and see if Tesla is bullish and closes the gap. That could be bullish for the market. The 10-year keeps rising. The TNX, right, treasury yields just keeps going up. We talked about being above that 40 is not a great look for the market, and that's kind of why, I'm more or less just very cautious with any upside trading, and this is, why I really want to see if the market really can't get above this excess here, then that's where we have to assume our other time frame trader entered the market and is pushing the market down here there. So and this is kind of a big thesis of mine, or kind of on the tails. That 40 level was extremely big, and if you guys remember back, I mean, it had to have been, I want to say it was even over a year ago. How long have we been doing this stream? For a fairly long time. I want to say that it was around this 25 level. Maybe it was 26.14. That's where we have marked. We talked about being above this 26 wasn't necessarily good for the market, and this is back in 2021 here, and it looks like it came above there in April 2021, right? So we still got upside in the market after that as the TNX came back down, but you can kind of see the correlation there long term. And it's not necessarily like one of those things, right? So like if Apple starts to tank today, then the market's probably going to tank today. But if this thing starts to tank today, it's not necessarily saying that the market's going to sky up. But it's something definitely that you want to pay attention to on a more macro aspect. The VIX below 30 here, just barely though, and pretty much just kind of balancing here at the lows. You can't really do any technical analysis on the VIX, but we definitely want to pay attention that it's still at 30, so it's still elevated, and that is telling us that it could still be pricing in about a 2.5% move. So we definitely know that that's not out of the question, and don't want to be putting on too much risk, or at least being too loose with your stops. That's how you get burned on a day where the volatility is high. Remember, just because yesterday and the previous day, I mean, they were pretty big ranges, but comparatively to the previous couple of days, just because they weren't these gigantic ranges doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to get this huge move into today. Okay, so definitely be paying attention for that. All right. That's exactly what we needed to get started, get motivated. Jake, good morning. Still got about 8 minutes, so if you guys have any questions or you want to share anything, just let me know. We can get this thing going. The Discord is free. It's free 99. Yeah, there's no reason to charge people money. My opinion. If you want the link, I can post it. The reason that the link is broken down below, he said link is broken like the VA. The reason the link is broken down below was at one point an accident, but then I left it because we don't want to just get a bunch of spam or a bunch of bots into the Discord. I wanted to keep it as, a community of people that, really want to learn and grow together. And so that's kind of the reason I left it like that. That way, some random people just come like, oh, I'm gonna get in this Discord, right? Everyone just does that. I like to keep this other Discord free and clear of chaos. Our Discord community is really, not like a lot of other Discords. A lot of other Discords, you get people and they're just fucking spamming all day, or they're just like shit talking each other. Our Discord is not like that at all. It's really quiet and calm, and people are constructive and post things that are good, and it's nice. Thomas, good morning. Emil, do I trade Bitcoin? I haven't in a while, but yeah, I do. I do trade Bitcoin. You can take a look at Bitcoin here. Like, it's there, but it's misleading in its function. Exactly. Yeah, it was actually an accident at first, and then just kind of left it, so it ended up working out. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Lecker. So we can see here. Load. Let me see if for some reason I lost Bybit on my. Yeah, I don't have Bybit on TradingView anymore. They've taken it away from me. Not a huge fan of it. Anyways, so we can see here Bitcoin kind of moved below that. This black line is the weekly VWAP. That's the VWAP that I like to track on crypto. I think it's, probably the most effective for me, at least. Until our TPO loads up, we can kind of see value forming a little bit lower. Still really just balancing, right? We got a little bit of excess on that low overnight and really just kind of balancing. So we want to watch the retest of that weekly VWAP and see if it can reclaim. Excuse me. Try hitting crypto on the search.
Yeah, on TradingView, instead of just having all.
Oh, I tried that right here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't show it.
that,
I don't know.
that's it's weird. The Bybit's not there.
Yeah, it's annoying as shit. I mean, Bybit, the perpetual contract is up here. Oh,
That's what I
that's
use.
that's why they changed the thing. Oh, okay. I see. So here's my chart. They just changed it to have the P in the end, and it didn't used to have that. That's stupid. Okay, so we got our chart back at least. Excuse me. That's it. Oh, we got time. So yeah, I mean, basically same idea here. We see all these points of controls basically just lining up. So this should act as support. Failure to act as support, we're going to start testing. We've got some single prints down here that might be the target. There's still some trapped inventory down here. Didn't really get anything going. Did get into a little bit of single prints last night, but popped, right back up, back into value. So the target here is probably going to be that weekly VWAP sitting right around 19,300-ish. And then you've still got this downtrend that Bitcoin's looking to break. So it needs to probably gain some support above the weekly VWAP, get enough people to try to pile in short before it can kind of scoop up to build above. The thing is um with the excuse me, with Bitcoin, right? It's so correlated to the market lately that it's tough to really, if the market's going down, to just try to pile into Bitcoin, right? Because we've just seen it acting, you know, hand in step inside of it. So ETH, we still have our two zones that we're still tracking. We had that little look below back into value and kind of back into that resistance and then still holding below it. So we've seen these two areas just kind of acting as resistance. If ETH is going to get any upside here, it needs to get above this 1300 and start to hold and try to reclaim that weekly VWAP. And then you can start looking for these upper levels here. But until then, I mean, for the most part, it's just we're still watching this longer term trend. It's still pretty far away from it. And really you're basically just fading rallies until it gets up above this level. Liz Truss resigned. Why isn't the market going bonkers? Yeah, they knew she was out. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of, everyone was kind of calling for it. Morning Roach. Everyone was kind of calling for it. I mean, they weren't, you know, they were relentless over there. So.
What are you talking about?
Liz Trust. Um, the what's her position? Or Liz Truss, I guess is her name, the Prime Minister, the UK Prime Minister. Is that like that's like the president kind of in the United States? But she basically just fucking quit this morning. They don't fuck around over there, so she just she had to go. AMD to start showing call counts. There's our open. Damn it. So overnight inventory is pretty balanced here. Let's see what we get here off of the open. A little bit of a rally here. A little Paparuski. Then a return back to the open. Remember, opening up inside yesterday's value. Typically, that will make the market a bit choppy. You can see the breadth is pretty neutral, and the tick opens up almost right, or just right above that zero level. So really neutral tick to start the day. So pretty indecisive, and we could see, you know, if we start to see the market turn one way or another, it could be just a go with situations. Back at yesterday's point of control here. Thought we'll get into a play today. Let's see. Sellers are trying here this 5. Yeah, they moved down a little bit. Not able to take the open there though. Excuse me. So offer still coming down on that 5. Morning, Jason. There they go. Back down to the open this time. So selling right off the settle there yesterday, or right now, I mean. See if they're gonna get anything worthwhile here. Back below the open, volume still coming in. The tick's getting pretty sold down pretty good. Pretty much all of our sectors starting to turn red. The breadth is fairly neutral here. Right at that T2 low here. Not really any responsive buying there. So tech is green, healthcare is red, financials red. Right back up to the open. Little bounce there. So that, remember that A high is mechanical, that 7 order. So let's see if they look to take that off. It switches back above 0. So really choppy here to start the day. And you know, this makes for a tough trade early on. You want to kind of let the market settle itself out. The breath is picking up here a little bit. Makes me kind of think that we might catch some upside here if we pop above this 7 order. Offer still coming in around this 5 level though. We're really trying this 5. Volume's pretty light here. Really back and forth, just choppy, tight range market. This market's been kind of crazy. That's true. It definitely has. A little bit of a liquidation there. See the breath cooling off here a little bit. Tick's coming back down below 0. Looks like it wants to go a little bit lower. There it goes. And it pops right back up. Classic. So if the market keeps failing here below this T2 low, we'll basically be in business for this 26 here. Or this 86, excuse me. Which is not too far down below, about 10 points below now. I'll got into a call, long for you guys on the ES. See a lot of things getting smacked here. NASDAQ kind of getting smacked. The Dow's kind of getting smacked down a little bit. Microsoft getting smacked down here a little bit as well. Caesar, did my explanation in the Discord help you the other day? about why I was holding during this E excess, or why, I mean, I got long after that, but why I held through the pop of the 15 and the run back up.
Can you explain why you did it again?
Yeah, so when we had this, just stay here. The market came up to this 15. You could see where all this volume came in. And then F period opened up, it popped, and then came back down. The the and then they got no continuation. The real look I was looking for was the 5. If you remember the 5, and you can kind of see it right here. This is where all this volume came in before. And we had kind of talked about how we thought that sellers were capitulating, and that's kind of the spot where that we thought that they had pretty much kind of signed their check. Basically, they had, for the most part, um shown their hand, right? They we had seen them kind of in that capitulation area where they had basically just tried to force their way in. They were doing everything they could to get the market lower, but the market really didn't go any lower, right? And it finally broke the 5, but when it did come to the 5, it barely came to that 3,700. A ton more sellers piled in, and it didn't go lower than that, right? And so I actually got filled at the 7, so I got filled at the 7, and then I think I added a couple on the way up. It popped up, it came back down like right to my entry, a little bit below my entry, and then then ended up coming up. I ended up closing around the 23, right? I wasn't hanging out forever there, but the the reason is when you see something like that and you see all this volume coming in, but yet, and the trend was down at the time, but the market's not really going anywhere, not going any lower. There's got to be a reason behind that, right? And so we're just assuming that that's it. These are laggard sellers or shorter time frame sellers piling into the lows that are unable to really get anything going, and so we want to go. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be that, these people getting stuck at the lows, right? And so that was kind of my reasoning behind that. And I could have been wrong, right? If this thing would have gone, and I had a pretty wide stop. I'm not gonna lie, my stop was right here at this D low, so it would have taken a pretty decent loss. I think it was right at 3,700 where I was kind of unwilling to sit in the trade. So I was looking at about a 7.5 point stop, but I was targeting the 23 off of the 7. So I was doing about a 3-to-1 risk to reward trade there. And it was just, that's how I was identifying the capitulation. And it happened to work out, right? It's not necessarily saying that it's going to work out like that every single time. Like if you see selling at the bottom that we want to get long, that's definitely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just based off of how the market was acting before that and then where the market was at the time, it just made sense that we were seeing that capitulation. I think we might pop here, guys. I have kind of a weird feeling that sellers are done.
So kind of same thing just now.
Not as much, right? Because we're seeing volume kind of move down and getting selling, selling, selling. The reason I'm thinking that we're gonna pop here is we just got a bunch of tapering here, and we just popped right back up over the open, and so that's just kind of giving me the feeling that maybe these sellers are a bit overzealous here early on, and we're not getting any. You're not really getting any strength here from the tick, right? It didn't get below that 600, pops right back above 0. It's just a matter if they re-offer that 5 area. That's kind of where I'm taking off most of my position, honestly. bot's targeting 58.75 range for AMD as a minimum. Yeah, and then remember we have this mechanical high at this 7/4. So if we get above the 5 here, that's where the offer came in originally. Above the 5 with some strength from the tick. Starting to see the weighted AD start to pay attention a little bit here. What about? Still negative here, but looks pretty strong. Nasdaq looks pretty strong. Starting to get a lot of rotations here, though. I'm not a huge fan of this fail to pop the open like this. Little mechanical selling right here on the 3,700, which is basically right on the open. Discord is asking for a password to verify the phone. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about the Discord sign up, man. Sorry. What do you say,
Apple and Microsoft both flipped green.
Yeah, they did. And you're
The
starting to see
IT
some.
sector appears to be climbing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're starting to see a little bit of strength popping in here.
Where's your VWAP at?
VWAP is right here, this white line right here, 3,700. Cool, Caesar. Glad that helps.
It's good to see the bot finally getting the play.
Yeah, it hasn't played in a couple days, right?
Well, it was getting bad plays.
Hmm.
So it's although I did drop it from the 6 contracts per buy to 1, so I'm kind of sad that I dropped it, but at the same time I needed to give it time. Give
And
me a breather.
What's the blue line above the VWAP?
That's the 50 moving average. That's an average that DJ said on the 1 minute chart. We always go back to it. I mean, we've seen it happen like just time and time again. It pretty much, when it gets sucked away, it just comes back to there eventually, and then seems to find a lot of either support or resistance at that level. Here we go, right at the 5 almost. This is where that offer came in. If they can pop this 5, you should be straight. Come on, you guys can do it. A little bit of selling up here. The offer's still coming in right on that 5, it looks like. We get above this 5. Buyers stepping in. Go. And offers are still trying to step down to hold this thing down, but buyers are stepping up. There we go. Nice. To see. If they get a retest of this 5, they should step up and hold here. Buyers trying to step up on that 650, unable to hold. See if they can hold this 5. Mechanical selling off the half back. Should be able to get above the last here. And then that target to this upside is going to be this prior day's value area high, which is going to be 21. 21? Bit of profit taken up there, it looks like. You can see right here. So when you see the volume kind of die off right at the top, and then you see, like, typically it's like 2 ticks or 3 ticks right off the high, big chunk of volume. Typically that's a liquidation if it's on the high, short covering on the low, right? We didn't really see any short covering down here. You just saw buyers step in. So that was just a little bit of short covering, this kind of pullback. So this could just be profit taking. You may need a rotation back down. That 5 was the big level, right? See where that's where all the volume came in. We've got this weak spot. We'd like to see buyers step up and see this weak spot hold if we want to get continuation to the upside. Starting to see a positive breath. Weighted AD is going up. Tick not really too strong, so that's not really the best look there. Weighted sectors are fairly mixed. May get a rotation back down here. Might have to just call this one and then try again later. Oh, goddamn. Stupid ass fucking bots.
That 12 is the weekly VWAP as well.
The 12 is the weekly VWAP? Thanks, Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, my chart, when I changed my chart background to black, I think my weekly VWAP's just hidden because I have my weekly VWAP on black. So. Change the color. My algo should take a trade on the next bar. Actually, in like 1 minute, it should decide if it's a trade. And if it does trade, it'll be a long trade. And it'll be targeting the 37.40. This is pretty ambitious. Two seconds.
You said it's targeting the 37.40?
37.40. Yeah.
Does it put stops in before it gets there? Just in case it comes back?
Yeah, it has a stop in. But it typically just let it play. It has like a target set, so like if it gets to 37.40, it'll close automatically. But it has some room, like the stop is based off of the projection, so it's like a 2-to-1 ATR, so like the stop's like 11.5 points. I'm still working on the algo's entries. It doesn't always have the best entries, but it typically does do fairly well on direction. Yesterday it lost like fucking like 140 ticks.
No way.
Yeah, got massacred yesterday. Not 140 points, 140 ticks. So it's like divide that by 4.
Right.
But it was
Still, that's
still a whooping. Yeah.
That's still pretty bad.
And I should have cut it earlier, but I was trading my other account short the whole day, so I was hedging against the bot. So not really. I'm trying to do, you know, kind of like how you do, like just let the bot do its thing and don't interfere with it. Don't try to force it to do what you want to do. Just let it do what it does, because over time it works.
How many contracts does it get?
Just one.
Okay.
How's your new job going?
Good, easy. I don't really have any interaction with anybody, so it's kind of nice. I don't have any like responsibility or anything like that.
It's like the perfect job.
Yeah, and it's remote too. I would have just, well, I definitely wouldn't have done it if it wasn't going to be.
Now I'm really regretting not having done my 6 contracts.
It's always like that, right?
I'm 70% up right now. Well, at least it's a win. I mean, I'm just glad to see it actually making money. For a while there, I was worried that something was wrong, but I think that part of it was just that October was a bitch of a month.
What news do we have? Yeah, we've got existing home sales. Existing home sales. Bearish Bull, what's up, my man? Haven't seen you in a minute. I'm wondering if you would advise against this because I'm second checking 2 charts before I make a play. Which charts are they? I mean, I think it's always good to have, you know, like a checklist, right? We're looking at the dollar and the 10-year for correlation, dollar strong, weak, bonds, equities weak. Oh, okay. I see the comment before. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. That's something that, you know, that's kind of why we have this kind of set up here with the TPO, because we like to correlate everything, because the S&P, especially if you're trading the S&P or the ES, you know, it's based off of the 500 stocks in the underlying, so we don't want to just base off the price action of what's going on the chart, because, you know, the market could be showing up, volume could be good, and then all of a sudden we see the dollar just fucking go on a tear to the upside, oil goes on a tear to the upside, Apple goes on a tear to the downside. You know, that's going to be like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to get long anymore, because that's not really great for the market, right? So yeah, I think what you're doing is solid. But it didn't quite get up to that 21. That's that value area high from yesterday. Let's see if we can get some continued rotations here and see if the market wants to keep kicking up. It did get up to that 600 tick level, but kind of failed back to zero here. We're seeing the weighted AD still stick positive, not above that 100 level yet. Excuse me. Jake V, did you get that figured out, that Discord thing? I'd really like to see healthcare kind of flip around. It's just not, it's looking kind of weak here. And then even consumer discretionary is positive, but it's on a gap down positive, so it's not really looking super strong either. Financials basically flat. Can't find user settings. You do it through your phone, you said? Oh, they have your password saved though. Let's see. There we go. So some nice rotations. They failed to push it back under that 13s where we got those trapped sellers at. Yeah, Bearish, why would I give you shit? I understand that people have life, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, if people aren't there, you know, that's how life is. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right on monitoring the dollar and the 10-year to give you that correlation, right? Like, I have a chart here. So it looks like this. So basically, These are like the things, these are like the top things that I'm kind of looking at. I haven't filled it out today because typically I fill it out after a period is over, and that really gives me like an overall feel of the market, right? Let it get 30 minutes before you go. Sometimes you get some trades in there before that, but you know, the breadth, the weighted AD, the previous tick, the current tick, price versus the point of control, the sectors versus their open and prior close, sectors versus their VWAPs, the VIX versus the open, what's the FANG doing, what's the VOLD doing, where's value at, where's the price compared to the open, where's the price compared to the settle, are we in balance or out of balance, what's the dollar doing, what are bonds doing, what's oil doing, and what's the NASDAQ doing. Then I kind of add all these up, give them either +1, a 0 if they're not really doing anything, a -1 if they're negative, and then you know get my number. And if it's a strong negative number, see I've got about 18 things here. So if I get, you know, anything negative 15 or below, that just kind of tells me like, hey, don't take any long trades. You know what I mean? So that's just like a checklist that I have that I monitor. And it doesn't necessarily, like, yours doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same. You know, some people are trading on different charts, some people are trading, you know, different things, but you always want to make sure you have something, not just like, ooh, I think it's gonna go up, let me get long. And then you know what happens is, what naturally happens is it comes back down, stops you out, and then goes up, and then you're like, fuck. When if you would have just waited to the spot where, you know, maybe we see a little bit of support, could have been in a better situation. Morning, Rays.
Isn't it only like a half of I think and more I feel?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I even have it color coded on there. I mean, Excel's pretty easy to use, and everything's pretty much online if you can't figure anything out. And then if you really can't figure anything out, or you really want a solution, just, you know, type in the Discord and ask my uncle. He's an expert at Excel. So, but I just have it color coded. If it goes negative, it's gonna turn red. That way, I don't have to update every single one, and I can just kind of glance at it there. Seeing a little bit of a pullback here. B period opens up. Let's see what we get going here. Oh, different sex bot today. Hot girls here. The fuck? Oh, I just fuck put you in timeout. So, I mean, we can even go through it, right? Because this is typically when I fill it out. So, um, so we look at the, like, right. I posted it in the Discord. Yeah. Trying to break out. Buyers stepped up on the 15 here again. They can hold this 15. We're trying to move down on the 16 quarter. They're kind of stuck right there. Yeah, they're stuck. Sellers are stuck on the 16 quarter. Pop should take us right to 21 here. Which is only 2 points above, but they're trying to offer the 18. Okay, so let's look at the breadth. Right, breadth is positive, so we'll give that a 1. Weighted AD is positive, we'll give that a 1. The previous tick is negative, give that a -1. Current tick is +1. Price versus the point of control, we're going to give a 1. Sectors versus their open, that's kind of a mix here, but I would say out of the top 7, we're mostly positive, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a 1 as well. Sectors versus the VWAP, up. The VIX versus the open is below. Where's the VIX at? VIX is down 1.63, so we're going to give that a 1. There we go. 21. Finally. A little bit of offering coming in up here, but bids are stepping up. So a little battle between 21 and 20 between buyers and sellers. A tight battle here. you don't get a pop, we might see, rotation back down to like that 16, 15 area again. The FANG for the most part, right? If we grab the FANG, look at the FANG, we've got Apple's green, Amazon green, Google green, Meta green, Microsoft green, Netflix is red, Tesla's red. We got 5 out of 7. I'm going to go ahead and give that a 1.
How does the thing work?
The FANG is just it's Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, Amazon, and Tesla. Called the FANG Man plus T. That's what Peter
Like
Reznicek calls it.
Tech stocks?
It's just tech stocks, yeah. We take a look at the Volt. The Volt is positive here. So we'll go ahead and give that a 1. Oops, 11. Go ahead and give that a 1. Value is inside still, so we'll go ahead and keep that as a 0. Price versus the open. Price versus the settle. We're still in balance, so we'll give that a 0. The dollar is down, so we'll give that a 1. Bonds down, so we'll give that a 1. Oil is up, so we'll give that a -1. And the Nasdaq's up, so we'll give that a 1. So we're looking at a 12 here. So 12 is a pretty strong number. It doesn't flip to green, I think, until we get plus 15. That's when it starts to flip to green. But still, still pretty strong look overall. Makes us think, where can we put some responsive longs at? And because we're still inside balance. If we were breaking out of balance, there'll be some opportunity to just put some initiative longs, but right now we want to stay responsive. We're still inside yesterday's range, right above that value area high from yesterday. But next target up is that 30, that overnight poor high. Watch this box here. The test of that box, buyers step up, shorts start to cover. Get that continue. Really starting to pick up here. Nasdaq bot's almost out. 11,283 is its target. Yeah, spot's still got a way to go. Yeah, no problem, bro. Starting to see healthcare get on board here. Let's see if healthcare can get back above its open. That could really give us the steam that we need. Seeing a lot of weak spots in the profile here. After the 40, so we got that 40.75, which is that prior day poor high. I become a little bit less lean to the long side, just because the trend is kind of down still. And so I think that there's probably responsive sellers sitting here, and this may be a tough area. AMD's making a new high. Nice. Buyer's still lifting. Six contracts straight on that last push. On the top tick. Offer's trying to move down and smash here. It's 31, 32 level. Nasdaq's dragging the ES up hardcore right here. Nasdaq's about to hit its target. Your runner got taken out during the B pullback? It's alright. Good trade. Where'd you get long from? Okay, 3707. Good stuff. It's actually right where I took some profit. 3707, 37 quarter. Took 2 off right there. That was a good rotation, good spot to get in. And a good spot to managers for sure. Yeah, that's a good entry. I turned off my minute chart too, TJ. I can't trade on it. I over traded yesterday like a fucking savage, and so I just can't. I can't have it on my trade chart. I like it here because I can look at it and glance at it, but I just won't. I can't trade it. It just makes me crazy on. I don't know. Tried it though. So
Yeah, the 1 minute chart on crypto is insane.
Nasdaq's out. So the Nasdaq bot got out of its long trade here. May see some distance here. Breath's picking up big. We're seeing some big buy trades come through here. 34, 119 lots, 35.75, 100 lots. That situation. I decide, like, should I close the ES or should I just hold on to the 40? Sometimes I wonder how the people on Twitter have time to trade with how much they post on Twitter. It's like just mind-boggling to me. So pretty decent selling up here at this 35 quarter. They're offering it pretty decent, but bids are still kind of accepting it. I think we're safe in this long. I'm going to move my stop to 33 half. I really want to get that 40, but honestly don't want to sit through a rotation down either, so. You can do it. Keep on pushing, yeah. Give us 40. Give us 40. I'm pounding the table. Come on, Elon. We want 40. That's like part of your favorite number. 420. Buyers are kind of stuck right there on that 38. Those ambitious buyers just kind of got stuck right there. Need to see some of these other buyers step up from this 35. Hell yeah, double R, good stuff. Ooh, gold is tough to trade too. especially if you're trading the regular gold and not the micros. If you're trading those regular gold contracts, oh, minute chart, yeah, that thing can get you burned. That's almost as bad as as trading oil gold is, because gold, like, if you guys ever get into trading gold trades like this. It's like, I mean, that's just how it is. It's like when it goes, and then it just stops again. It's crazy. Stops at 34. Trying to give this thing as much room as we can to breathe here to see if we can get to that 40. We're about a point off though.
What happened?
I moved the stop up for the bot because I just didn't want it to rotate down, because I think we could get a rotation down here. I don't want to sit through it. Maybe I'll try to get it back in a second, but I mean, it was right there. So if it's 1 point off, sometimes you just gotta take it.
Well, a win is a win, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was long from 9.25, so 9
Oh
quarter
yeah,
to
that's a good
34.
run.
It was a good trade. Yeah.
And that was in the ES? Or that, no, the MES.
ES. No, ES.
But that was the ES.
Yeah. It just trades one lot
Freaking
on
A,
the
dude.
ES and one lot on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ trade was way better.
Probably didn't have as much volatility.
It just went straight up. It didn't rotate as much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the volatility kills it. I mean, my bot, I've tried to build in the ability for it to handle a little bit of retracement just so that it doesn't like freak out. Oh my gosh, it's going backward. But I mean, you can only do so much because there's a point where you just got to say, no, get the F out. You got to be done.
Right. And how much are you going to be willing to sit through? That's the thing. And the thing that sucks, though, is like, do you want to uncap it and just kind of let it go? Because this thing could get above 40 and could just keep running up, especially with how the market's looking today. We're seeing, I mean, the tick doesn't look super positive, but all of our sectors have flipped to green, and the weighted AD looks really strong, and the breadth is starting to look really strong. The market looks strong, but we never know what could happen. So it's always,
Well,
that.
it's twofold. So one of them is that you have to give it the ability to sort of account for, back retracement and ranging. But you also like there have been times that my bot gets like right into or right just above profit, but because the indications didn't tell it to get out, and then it drops back below, or I guess right above the point where it would have gotten out, and then it drops back below, and so it can go all the way to the point where it would actually get out if it was straight percentage. If it was just like, I'm going to make this percent and then dump, it would have gotten out, but it didn't, and then it comes back and loses money. So I mean, you have both of them. So and you also want it to be able to run. So if it goes off, like 200%, you certainly don't want to get out early, or you want to try to avoid getting out early.
And that's the thing, is what I think I might do. I was talking to James about this last night. What I think I might do is run the bot on 10 MES contracts. That way I can just take them off as the market
Profit taking
goes.
as you go.
Yeah, because I don't have that ability with the ES. It's basically all in, all out. But with the MES, I can put 10 on, take them out on the way. That'll give me a little bit more opportunity there.
That's why mine does the average in, because it's really hard. I mean, if I do back testing, it's really, really hard to just have it get in, get out, and have that be profit. It just doesn't work very well that way. Typically what happens is it'll dip, and then it'll do average in, and then it doesn't get back up to where it was, where it even got in originally. And part of it is because options have volatility, which the beginning of the day, the price of an option is not equivalent to what it is in midday or late day, even at the same price. Even if the stock is at the same price, the underlying is at the same price, the price of the option is less almost
Right.
always, because the volatility or the volume and the volatility is way higher at the beginning of the day, which is usually when it gets in. So it's a much harder play to be able to do it where you're just like in out. ES, I'm guessing, is different because you're just buying it at that number, and it's whatever ticks it goes up or down.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't have that kill of premium like the options do. You're long at the break of the A high. Stop at 18, waiting for the runner. Bet it at 23.50. Still a pretty good trade. What's that? 5 points? 5.5 points. That's a good trade, I think. I don't use the tick on the NQ. I just use this tick. This is just the NYSE tick, so I just use this tick. The tick Q, like there is a tick Q. To maybe it's C. Yeah, here it is. Tick Q for the NASDAQ, but I mean, you can really gather anything from that fucking 40. That's the shit that kills me. Oh, for the TPO? I don't even use the TPO on the NASDAQ. I just use a 10-minute chart on the NASDAQ. Yeah, I don't use a TPO. The NASDAQ TPO is just a fucking giant pile of shit, I think. So remember what we've talked about here. When we get above 1,000 on the tick, doesn't necessarily mean that it's oversold when we're making a new high. Good profit taking there as well. Let's see if it gets a bit. So if we fixed that poor high, and this is kind of where I start to get a little bit more cautious. I want to see the market build value up here, not just be up here before I'm going to trust it at these highs. So if you're out of a trade, like I'm flat, I don't have a trade on, it's going to be really hard for me to get on board with this unless we start to see some rotations. You would really just be having to force it with tight risk and hoping that it doesn't backtick you. But I mean, it could just keep rolling on. It does look like it wants to. You're trading Forex, the XAU versus USD, doing pretty good, catching the breaks. Nice. Hey, you should get with Poke in the Discord. He's been trading he trades Forex a lot. And then you know what? Ilias Feedback was saying that a good Forex trade would be to look at the Canadian dollar. That wouldn't be a bad, and pair it against like the yen or something. Or pair it against like the Kiwi dollar, and that might be a decent long trade.
Just FYI, the bot is still in.
NASDAQ still looks strong. I mean, ES still looks strong, obviously, too, but NASDAQ's taking it up, bolds up, breaths up.
Dude, mine has said downloading historical data for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're on Rhythmic data?
I would assume so.
Yeah, Rhythmic data's had some issues lately. I know a couple days ago my charts were all fucked up because of that Rhythmic data.
Well, I thought I was getting, I thought I got the like top package or whatever on Sierra charts. I didn't know if the data came from them or what.
Now it would only come from them if you have a live funded account. So not like not even if it's like a even if it's
A PA
a
account.
PA account, still doesn't count. You have to have like a live funded account to get that Denali data. You could open a account with stage 5 trading for cheap if you wanted to. And I didn't even think about that the other day. I could have just switched the data to my stage 5. But
It's just weird because it says downloading historical data. So I right clicked and then deleted and download data. It's just still stuck on it. It's not even showing me where price is at.
I was talking, I was having the same data issues. I was talking to them. They said to your, if you pay for Denali and you connect to a funded account, you just need to do it once a month. And then it'll let you run the Denali and then you can disconnect it and get back to your other one, but you have to just resync it once a month for that.
yeah, but
Every 30 days.
how do you even sync it?
Well, they just said connect, what they told me was connect to the other one. And then that will enable the, and you know, do all the stuff to enable Denali, sign those forms, pay for the data. And then just reconnect to your other one. They said it would work, but I didn't, my rhythmic data came back, so I didn't get a chance to.
Denali's the best data. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely better than Rhythmic. It's better than CQG. It's even better than Kinetic. And Denali data, I mean, you could go all the way back to. I wish I could get Denali data on NinjaTrader so I could run my fucking back test on the algo for farther back. But it goes back all the way to like 2011. Denali data does. And you can get the MBO on Denali too if you want it. You want to pay like an extra $10 a month, it's like $56 a month or something. Can I expand on the Denali data comment? What do you mean? So you're starting to get a little bit of how is it better than Rhythmic? It's just faster. It seems to me at least like the way that it comes through. Like if you were to watch the DOM on a Rhythmic feed versus a Denali feed, you would get you know just it would be like night and day on how things form. You can tell the difference. That's why I think it's better. And Rhythmic doesn't have any historical, like they don't provide historical data. Right? For the most part. Yeah, I mean if you're not watching anything but a bar chart, then the data really won't matter at all. But since we're watching this volume here, I think that it does matter because it's gonna pick up. You can run like with CQG, you can run tick data on tick replay on NinjaTrader, but it slows the computer down like a fucking ton. I don't. You could. No, you can't get Denali without Sierra. It's that's like their life stone. So we're getting see, and this is kind of why I was a little bit nervous about this above this 40. We're getting a little bit of rotation here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it can't continue up here, but that just makes sense that we get that rotation above that poor high as a spot that responsive sellers would have an opportunity to enter the market. And TJ's like right here. Use like this. Through his teeth. Come on down. Right. That's what I'm doing too. I'm looking at that spot right there.
Pretty crazy.
That's right. I'd like to see us retest that at Globex high, that 30, 32-ish area, and see buyers just fill that in and leave this weak spot below. I want to see this get untouched if there is a rebid. But I want to see the market come down to right here. That will give us a little bit more information.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get a decent rotation so that I can get back in on the long side. Breast over 5 right now.
Yeah, strong breath, especially opening at neutral, and then a lot of the overall market basically just stepped up.
That's about what my numbers are. 130 to 27 would be basically 5 to 1.
I was anticipating singles being at the 20. That's why I had my stop below it. And so we'll see if we get back that far. But honestly, I don't know. We have a few spots. Like right here, it bounced right off the top of that previous area. That's where people were shorting. What is that? 37.5.
Oh yeah, 37.5. Yep.
On the 1 minute candles, you can see like that doji on the bottom. It's like right on the top of the previous. Yeah. And the reason I look for those is because you have the big liquidation candle that's going up, where it shows some people got stopped out. So you just expect there to still be shorts sitting there to buy back. That's what I'd base my last 2 trades off of. And then instead of just sticking to shorts are covering, as long as it doesn't get below this price, we're still good. Let it ride.
Right.
I freaking got scared, took profit. Had literally no reason to sell. I the last few days, like you had to take profit quick because it was not like it was there was no continuation on certain plays. And I don't know, I guess I just in that mindset still.
And it's hard to adjust back and forth when the market does do that, and I definitely understand that because it's something that Monday and Tuesday I did it all day. I just took profit way too early all day and left so much on the table. Even though I traded, fairly well, it was just like I should have traded like an A++, but it was like a fucking B-. To pass the class, but it's been fucking valedictorian.
I break it this time. Then I don't want to see it come down to this 30. Which would be the overnight.
Yeah, I'd like that 30, 32.
You look at my box, bro. How'd you know it was from 30 to 32?
Is that where yours is at? Nice.
It's actually a box. It's crazy enough. It's a box that I've had on here for the last few days.
It's got to be important.
Still getting respected. Overnight high, stopped right at the bottom of it.
Let's see, you're holding the right, tearing the house apart. Nasdaq's trying to pull back into support here. This makes me feel a little bit better about closing the algo early. A lot of offers coming in right here. Yeah, this is kind of a go either way type of moment here. So watching this area down here, this like 27, 24 area, I'd like to not see that get tested.
I think whichever way we get on the this previous 1 minute candle, it'll probably have some fear coming out.
Now you kind of have that 1 minute single print look too above us. You can assume that longs are probably trapped right here. Right, so it came down, shorts started to cover, momentum longs tried to pile in, sellers held, they got liquidated. So this is an area where we might see them try to cover it back. All the longs.
Yep. If it pops up, it'll probably stop right at the bottom of that doji above the little singles. 37 quarter, 37 now. The 5 minute chart is definitely looking a little bearish. This is one of those, this is that moment though where, you know, everything looks weak if we're going up on short covering, but it could just keep going. So you just have to be careful.
Right. And we know that, I mean, we can assume that responsive buyers are here so far because we have excess on the high. So there is decent excess here. So this could be, or responsive sellers, excuse me. This could have been this responsive seller above that previous poor high. So there's a lot of like two-way information right here that really makes it a difficult position. And we've got singles below. So it's like, is this seller, you know, an actual longer term seller and we just trapped some shorts below and then squeezed up off of this and now they're entering the market? Or are we just being, you know, is this thing just kind of rotating? It's kind of a double negative actually. In the market, double negatives don't make a positive. This thing actually might come back down.
Yeah, we have, that's what I was trying to qualify if I should look to take my mean reversion play.
Yeah.
Because we have, so far we have bearish divergence on the 1 minute and we have a bearish divergence on the 5 minute. So we should rotate back up and test this high. And then depending on how it reacts when we get there, give us more info. I'm not saying we got to rotate up right now, but at some point we'll, you know, because we're at the 50, you know, we're almost at the 50, and when we rotate back to the 50, that just shows one sign of possible exhaustion.
Right.
What is the difference between your first set of TPOs and your second set of TPOs?
The difference is one is just spread out. So they look similar right now, but you can see like, so these are, it's A period here and then B period comes like this and then goes like this. Whereas these are all just individual bars.
All right, I see that you spread it out.
Just so it makes it easier, like if you look at the full profile here, it makes it easier to see what kind of day it is, and also so like pretty balanced with that poor high, but we can see we kind of auctioned up and then auctioned down and then back to the middle, so pretty balanced. Got a unfair low, unfair high, balance type of look. Whereas if you're just looking here, you kind of see that, but you don't really see how the auction went throughout the day, and so it's harder to get the full picture. Big slippage fills. I mean, they just have good order execution, and people that are on Sierra charts are probably partial to Denali. I've had a lot of different data feeds. I have 2 different data feeds as we're speaking right now. And I do like Denali better. But I mean, unless you're trading size, it doesn't necessarily matter, if I'm being honest. Like, if a tick is gonna make or break your trading day, right? Even if there is a little bit of slippage, a slippage of if you're trading the MES, no matter what data feed you're getting, you're not really going to be getting any more slippage than a tick. There's just, and if you are, then just cancel that shit, because there's a million other data feeds out there that are give you no slippage or a tick slippage minimum, and that tick slippage is really just because it's going to trade on the bid versus the offer. The 50, that's the 50 cent. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's the 50 moving average on the 1 minute chart. And like TJ was saying, we're using it as a kind of a signal to show exhaustion, right? So they're kind of, it shows a little bit of exhaustion there. No problem. You can see the breath cooling off here a little bit, but some buyers still stepping up, and we never got back down to this level. This is the level. If there's sellers in the market, this is where they're gonna try to attack, right? Because that's where there's gonna be some liquidity at. But there's no move down to that level yet. Yeah, it's in the bottom right corner. You can see the VWAP's much lower. So the VWAP didn't really come up with the market. That's kind of telling us it's weak volume. The breath is really cooling off. The tick is kind of staying below 0 here, so it looks like there's a little bit of selling pressure. Yeah, 1 day, 1 minute. Go.
Did you post your new boot camp?
Not yet, no. I was dirt biking all weekend and didn't really get on the computer at all. I have some time tonight. I'll just do it. I'll post it tonight. I can do it tonight. It just takes for fucking ever to upload. I basically can't do anything on my computer until it's done uploading. It's just the first episode. Or first like piece, I guess. That's not the whole thing. I'm not done with the whole thing.
How many episodes is there?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I mean, I have it planned for 4, but depends how I can compartmentalize it. You're jealous? Jealous of what, TJ? Oh, dirt biking. It's pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's
Hey, TJ, how was your camping trip?
It was good, bro. It was good. The weather was like perfect. Kids had a blast.
Are you a glamper or a real camper?
I mean, we slept in a tent, no AC. I mean, not AC, heater, no heater. Didn't need one. Sometimes we put like a little floor heater in there if it's like 20 degrees outside or something. But no, we're not like in an RV or anything like that. If that's what you're saying. Now that we broke the 50, I want to see where we stop and we rotate back.
What I miss? Anything? Nothing.
I think you're shadow banned on YouTube.
You think I'm shadow banned?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
I could be. Can you not find my channel?
no, it doesn't, even with the thing on it, doesn't tell me you're on, but
It says live right now. I see it.
yeah, it says live, but it doesn't give me the notification.
Oh, got it.
You gotta hit that subscribe and click the bell. How and why did y'all go with Sierra charts? So I actually used to be on NinjaTrader for a decent amount of time. I ended up switching to Sierra charts just because of the functionality of it. And at first it was really just because of the stream. The stream was getting, because NinjaTrader is like pretty GPU intensive, especially with all the charts and shit that I had up. And then I'm running Zoom and then Streamlabs, and so it was like kind of just slowing the computer down. It probably wouldn't be any issue now because now I have like fiber internet, really fast internet. But at the old place in California, the internet wasn't the greatest, and so it would just basically die all the time. Like the stream would die, my internet would die, and I was just having all these issues. And then switched to Sierra charts. You know, it's kind of old school. It's like Windows 95. You know, it's like an AK-47. You bury it, 10 years later, dig it up, cock it, still shoots. You know, and so that was kind of the reason. And then, you know, at first Sierra charts is hard to use. It's a little bit more difficult to understand, right? There's a lot, I mean, it has a lot more functionality to it, but it's a lot more confusing. It's not as user friendly. But then once I got used to it, I kind of dug in and figured everything out. Really not that bad. And now I just, you know, just like it. Yeah, and if you switch to Sierra charts, you could at least use my chart book, and then that will give you a starting point, you know. Ooh, UFC 280 this weekend, yeah. I don't know. I want Oliveira to win, but I just don't like. It's hard to bet against those fucking. Um, is he Russian? What do you call him? Um, Dagestanian. There it is. Yeah, or Dagestani. Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, they're just. You know, they fight bears as kids. It's like not a lot of people do that. They're just not real like they're just not like real interesting fights, you know what I mean? Like it's not like watching like a, well, we never really got to see it, like a Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo, because Conor knocked him out in the first punch, but you know that was going to be a striking battle. Those dudes are modern day Spartans. I don't know about that. Have you seen those bare knuckle boxers? That shit, that's no joke. That's what Conor should do. Conor should just switch to bare knuckle boxing. He'd probably beat the shit out of everybody. He's got a solid chin and he's just a fucking savage. But it's just those kicks. Yeah, I watched Tyson Fury. You see Deontay Wilder fucking slept that dude in the first round. But you don't think Conor McGregor would be good at bare knuckle boxing? I think he would. I don't think he would get, I mean, dude, I don't think he'd get brutalized that much. he's a scrapper, bro. He's a fighter. Like that. I mean, he can just hit, and he hits hard. Okay, it's just like every fight that he's lost. I mean, besides the Nate Diaz fight, and Nate Diaz is just a savage, but Nate Diaz is my favorite fighter. But there's just no if he's not getting taken down, he's not losing. You know what I mean? Or getting kicked. Connor's jaw's not that great. He's never been knocked out. I mean, he got knocked out that one time against, I guess, against Poirier, knocked him out with that uppercut. But yeah, I mean, he's just rich as fuck. You know what I mean? Yeah, and most of those bare knuckle boxers are they're pretty green. That's true, and I think he would just fuck them up. Yeah, I honestly do. I think you guys are. I don't know. I mean, I have a fighting background, and Connor's like he has a boxing background too. Like he knows how to fight, and he's been fighting like since he was fucking born. He's Irish, you know, fucking born with fucking boxing gloves on your hands and a beer. That's just how the Irish are. You know, it's like being born in England. You fucking first president is a soccer ball or a football. You know. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen Connor lately. The motherfucker looks like a goddamn animal. Like he is he's big. You know, might be taking a little bit of that juice that Nate Diaz tells everyone in the UFC that they're on. I saw a video of him shooting a basketball yesterday. I was like, whew. Guess they don't play basketball in Ireland. Connor, he's like, what is he, like 30? 32? He's my age. McGregor. He is. Yeah, he's 34. He is my age. He's born a couple months before me, actually, 1988. Yeah, he's the same age as me exactly, actually.
That's the year I graduated high school.
That's the year you graduated high school, 88? That's a good
Yeah.
year. The year legends were born. Fire's stepping up here a little bit. A little bit of short starting to cover there. In those 1 minute single prints closing. Where's TJ at? This is the area he was looking for.
Yeah, try not to be too frisky. All right, wait and let it develop.
Yeah, I'm doing the same exact thing. Trying to, that's where you grab your fidget spinner and just chill. I'll let this Connor distract me. That's good. Dude, I think Connor's got a solid tank. Those fights with Nate Diaz were, 25 minutes long. I don't know if you guys have ever fought in a cage, but basically, I mean, and I've done it a lot. After about 10 minutes, and that's only 2 rounds in, I'm just like, I remember one time it was the end of the second round. This guy hits a double leg on me, and he's got me pinned against the fucking cage, and I'm just smashing his head down. And my coach is right in my ear, Dennis Jones, and he's like, stand up. And I'm like, looking at him like, fuck you. Like, I'm tired as fuck. Like, I don't have the energy to stand up. I'm just barely holding this guy off and punching me. Like, please. I'm trying to catch my breath here for a second till this round is over, like, and he's going 25 minutes. Yeah, and the first fight, that Connor fought Nate, when Nate won, Nate was a lot bigger because Connor had cut down to fight. That was a catchweight fight. And then the second fight, I mean, Nate, I don't think it was unanimous as they like they say. Like I think Nate, might have even won that fight. I think it was probably a split decision, or could have even been a draw, honestly. But the thing that carried it over was Connor knocked Nate down so many times. And that's one thing that like you've got to think about when you think about fighters is some fighters, they might not be the best fighters, but they can be very dangerous fighters because they have that one punch. You know what I mean? Yeah, and Connor could have had it by the split. Like it was a very hard to call fight, I think. And I think Connor got the edge because he knocked Nate down so many times. So yeah, and Connor did win the fight, but I don't think it was unanimous as they explained it. I think it was definitely more of a split. And I honestly think it could have gone either way, too. But like those fighters that have that one punch power, like, that's just something you can't. It's like Tyson, like Tyson. If you guys see Tyson like later on, even early in his career, but if he didn't knock someone out first 4 rounds, he started to get tired, but you wouldn't take it away from him. You know what I mean?
He had a lot of less than 1 minute fights.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, you never know. Yeah, and Diaz really is an unknockable out dude. Like they did a sports science on the Diaz brothers because they do Ironmans, and those Ironmans, I don't know if you guys have looked those up, but it's just insane. But they have like some fluid in the back of your neck that like the reason that nobody ever knocks any of those guys out is because of that. Yeah, Connor has, yeah, and he even said it like, precision beats power and timing beats speed. And really, he just got the notoriety. He has an accent, so Americans love him, and his attitude towards everybody else. And then he talked all that shit, and then he backed it up, right? Then later on, yeah, he got he got humbled, right? Which happens, especially like once you get rich, Yeah, and there's a documentary about it because he goes in on Jose Aldo about backing out of the fight. Because when he fought Jose Aldo, he had a torn MCL. And still just fucking, and the shot that he took on that cross, that left cross that he put Jose Aldo out with, but Jose Aldo landed a right hook. That hook that Jose Aldo landed on Conor McGregor, I would bet money is knocking out probably 50% of those 155ers. That thing was, Connor had a black eye from it, just one punch, and that thing fucking smacked him. So it's just Connor put it right on the button. And then that's when he blew up. He got so fucking rich after that. Yeah, hard to get out of
Brad,
that. Sorry, go ahead.
is the tick coming down from the 600? Did it get rejected?
Yeah.
Kind of hard. Can't tell.
Make it bigger, sorry.
No worries. I didn't go full size, but I went in on one because I thought, it could go up a little more.
Where'd you go from the 40?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I hit in on 41 too, but it was dropping pretty fast when it broke. Yeah, when it broke that previous candle. I was thinking about taking this one off at the 50 because it could definitely get one more rotation back and test. It definitely had a bounce from there. Jeez, 3 points.
That's that sat on the attack moment right there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I love using that thing for take profit, just because it's so responsive.
Yeah, I think you could use the TPO on whatever time frame that you want. Because the like the dollar and the 10-year are a 24-hour market, it's It's just kind of I mean, really, you just have to look back at it, right? I think that there's opportunity to utilize the TPO to help you see value on multiple time frames. Just the 30-minute is the most common, and for me, helps me stay a lot more patient. When I start to get into lower time frames, I really start to overtrade, and that's why, like I said, on Monday I had the 1 minute chart up, and then I could just feel myself like looking at my reports at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, okay, I just need to take it off. And that's originally
Let's look at
why I took it off in the first place. But then, I do like having it right here. Oh, but yeah, I mean, I think you could. You just want to look and see, like, just mess around with it until you find one that can help you kind of like explain the um explain like what's going on in the market.
plus if you look at the same time frame every day all the time, you see that it's always changing, can affect your perception.
Agreed. 100% agreed. That's a very good point. Yeah, if you're just clicking through multiple time frames all the time, all the time, all the time, you're gonna see what you want to see. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like if you're trading a 30-minute, like, so we're looking at the TPO for our information, and then we zoom into the 1 minute to get these key entries, right? And so these are kind of the two that we're bouncing back and forth between. Well, we don't want to be like, okay, well, let's go to the 5, the 15, right? The 15 might tell us a good entry when the 1 minute's telling us no, 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 no. Right? So if we're going to key in for our entries, don't just try to click through charts until you find what you want. That's just going to be a recipe for overtrading and most likely disaster. Yeah, Jake, I posted my new excuse me, my new chart book in the Discord. You just have to get it, upload it to Sierra Charts, and then boom, it pop up. Yeah, my dad was not very computer literate, but he's been getting better. Which is surprising because like 3 of his brothers like just solely work computer shit.
It's amazing what those dummies books can do. I know he's on here. I don't think he's listening though.
I heard you, you dumb son of a bitch. What the heck? You guys talking about me? What the fuck's going on over there?
James jamming out.
I work for a car dealership. We swear at the car dealership.
All right, Liquor, have a good day, man. So you can see the market is starting to build some value up here, and this is kind of what we wanted to see in order to get continuation. So this could be one of those moments here. If we start to break that C high, that could be a nice go with moment there, and we should be able to get that continuation and probably targeting this next level up, which is
70,000.
3775, which is that's a long-term target. 3775 is my long-term target.
I'm surprised my bot hasn't gotten out yet. I haven't seen a significant number of indicators that it'll get out. It's just been plugging along.
Oh, I know, Jake. I know.
Are you ever gonna post that sear chart video you made?
Oh, the setup video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can post that too. I thought I did post that. Big buy order coming through 3575. Now just go to Google. Anytime I can't figure something out, just go to Google or go to YouTube. The answers are there. Not really looking like a trend day yet, no. But what would give us a trend day, I mean, we've still got about 20 minutes. If we get a break of this C high and we can break, we should have enough trapped liquidity here in this C period to start turning into a trend day. If breadth starts to pick back up, I mean, weighted AD is already strong. Tick is pretty mixed for the most part, but still, it's still looking pretty strong. We're holding a decent uptrend here above the 50. So it definitely has the opportunity to turn into a trend day if it can find the buyers willing to buy above this high from yesterday. So some initiative buyers. Not really any big earnings for the rest of the day though. So I don't think anyone really doing anything crazy. Tesla's still getting smacked here. I mean, well, I guess not, but Tesla's actually looking really strong, but still down about 3% from yesterday's earnings. See, there's a close from yesterday. But if Tesla gets, excuse me, Tesla gets back into that range, and we've got the marker on, so we'll know when that happens. You know, there's some opportunity there for the market to get on board because Tesla's really the only thing kind of lagging behind. We've got Apple green, AMD green, Amazon green, Google green, Meta green, Microsoft green, Netflix green, Nvidia green. Tesla's green on the day, but still looking to kind of close that gap. We're seeing some buyers step up here. Seller's trying to offer that 49 here. Or 39, excuse me.
Yeah, the amount of times it's bounced off the 50. Normally on a mean reversion play, you don't get rejection at the 50 that many times. So be nice if we can get above here, and it'll put singles above the B high. Brad prints probably from the C. Then maybe that thing will keep squeezing up if it don't roll over.
You got a Fed speaker at 12.
Which one is it? Let's see.
Hawker.
Oh, okay. Parker.
Parker, and then there's one at 12:30 one 1:30. And it's Central Time. There's a few this afternoon. Jefferson, Cook, Bowman, and Harker today.
Bowman's normally pretty bullish. Dovish, all the Fed speakers. Dovish and hawkish. A little rejection there. You can see this kind of just rejected right on that low, and now you're breaking trend back down to the 50. Watch above this 36. Where's this level at? There we go. Above this 36 half, 36.75, 37. We should get a nice little pop. I think that's where the short sellers are getting trapped at. Oh, excuse me. So offer still moving down here, this 35, 50, 36 area. Sellers still trying to come down. Offers on that 33 quarter there. Break of that trend now. Remember, we're still watching this area down here. It still hasn't been tested. There's a lot of trapped liquidity right there, right below that level. So if we get into this area, possible short covering comes out, it might cause the market to catch a little bounce from there. Nasdaq just took a little bit of a spill. A little bit of buying coming in here. Or that 32 was where the offer was at. That's what we said. 32. Notice the tempo, right? Very, very kind of slow. It's like every time they try to sell, right? They're selling. I mean, they're selling the shit out of this 29 quarter here, but they're not really getting anywhere yet. Break this C, but failure to break this C is going to show some real weakness. But they should be able to break it. I mean, they're trying really hard. They really don't want to see price too much above this 29.5. That's where they got pretty short at. Yeah, 29.5, 30. So they hold it, a little reoffer there. Didn't take much work to hold it. Not a lot of trades right there. You can see the first time they came down to sell it. See all that volume that came in right there? And then right back to it. See if they reoffer here. They're trying to sell it again. 29.5 again. They're not getting the downticks that they need, though. They're kind of getting stuck here. All right, longer.
I
Longer
wonder
here.
if we don't get down to that.
Oh, what's up?
What did you say, 27 to 24?
I think buyers are good as long as we stay above 28.
Well, I wonder if we don't get down there that people will start selling that are holding shorts from there,
Yeah, there'll be some short covering for sure. Yeah.
which will pump this thing pretty. We'll get a pop out of that. At least I would think anyway.
But they may try to get down there to get the liquidity. That's my only thing. So I'm long 1 from 30 right now, basically flat. Got my stop here at 27.50. But they may try to pop it down in here to grab some of this to get the tickets to get up here, but doesn't look like they're. I mean, they're letting a little relief here come on, and 33 they offered, 35 they offered, 35 is really 35 quarter is really the thought I could see them trying again here.
And I took that same trade, but I was a little early, and I don't know, when it came back twice, I was like, let me just get out of this thing, break even. Yeah, I think I was long 29, my stop on 27.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good identification, good entry. And we might, we might keep going down, like I said, to grab this liquidity down here and then run. But it's really going to depend how the market acts right here. If it just trades straight through that, then we'll know that most of this move up was just basically short covering, and there's not really a lot of trap liquidity below, and we'll probably get that mean
Right.
reversion.
Yeah, I was trying to catch it back up to the 50.
Where's the 50 at? 33? 33.5?
We're building more stops down there too.
Yeah, this
It turned in at basically that same spot around 27.5. That's two different times, the C and the D.
right. Yeah, especially 5 minutes left.
Got lower highs off the top.
Yeah, we're in like an uptrend and a downtrend. Who's going to be the new prime minister over in the UK? Did they replace it like day of, or did they wait?
I know, because wasn't Boris the shortest one? Now she is. Like they're going through prime ministers.
Yeah, they are. They're offering the shit out of this 29 again. It looks like they might get it this time.
I'm trying to do it before the next period, I'm guessing.
Which is surprising because normally they wait. Boris might come back. No way. That would be fucking hilarious. Boris got stuck. Boris got stuck on 27 quarter there. 27 half. Yeah. Watch this 29.75 again. If they auction up above that 29.75 again, they'll probably just they'll probably give up. And you might see that rip back up to 35. Here's 29 half. They need to hold this area. This is where they need to put all their marbles in. Back to 27. Okay, they're moving down. Sellers are moving down here. They got it. Go.
Target's probably 200. Sitting on the 23.
This is that area that we were talking about. But there's not really a lot of short covering in this area, which we haven't really seen. You're seeing offers move down in this area. This kind of increases the odds of a mean reversion, and the market will move back into a balanced look. There's that 23. VWAP's all the way down at the 16 here, 15 half. Just pure liquidation there. Close the singles. A little bit of short covering coming in there. See the weak spot's still holding for now. A little bit of short covering there on the 20. Mechanical D. Now watch for them to reoffer this level here. It's that same level. Watch for the reoffer here. They should do a little bit of backing and filling. So if sellers are strong, they should move down and sell into this area where they haven't got a chance to trade and start to build value here. And the target's going to be that 19. If we don't trade this area, I mean, you can just kind of expect them to just wait until that 29, I guess, but they should try to come in. You're seeing them try to fill this volume in right here already. See that? E period's going to open up. We're not really necessarily one time framing down. We're still inside the B period range here. The NQ will take you through some pain. Yeah, the NQ is a beast, man. NQ is a beast. You're lagging on Zoom? So here's that. This is like the last bit of the area, but they're kind of filling it in. You see that? They're kind of trying to fill this in here. Getting some down ticks. The offer's still there on that 27 half. Not really any weakness in the breadth here. And the Nasdaq kind of breaking trend from the high to the, it's breaking up to the upside here as well. See. This is still sitting about where it's at. Bonds are coming down. Dollar's about the same. VIX is coming down. VIX is actually at 29.97 now. Here's that 29. This is a key level here. Above this 29, this should probably run up to like 35. 33 was a decent offer, but 35 is where the sellers really tried to come in and hammer this thing. Maybe that 33 was pretty decent. 35 seemed. Excuse me. You got out at the 30. Nice. Yeah, it took a little long there. 23 to 26.75. Nothing. A little rebounder once it failed at 19. So we've got a mechanical D low sitting right off that B half back, right off the half back of the profile. Mechanical E high as well. The shorter time frame traders still in control. And another day spent inside the initial balance. So I guess we kind of just decided to start watching the initial balance, or start learning the initial balance just at the right time. Or paying attention to it. I don't know if learning it, but paying attention to it. I'm still leaning long. Not really getting anything, kind of crazy. You got that exhaustion tick down to the 1,000. The breadth is still looking good, right? Remember, we opened up a flat breadth. You're still seeing buying in the market. We have a little downtrend from the high, but not really convinced of the downside just yet. Kind of a mixed bag here. I'm still leaning more long side. The Nasdaq still looks pretty decent. A little volatility coming in here as well. Fed's quantitative tightening could end in mid-2023, says UBS.
There's been some pretty good news in crypto. The oldest bank in the U.S. is now holding crypto, and Walmart announced they're going to start doing crypto, and they hired 20,000 developers.
That's pretty good. Well, they're just battling again right at this kind of the same spot. I mean, they're above the 29 now, and you're seeing a couple bids step up here. Where to trade that 35? 33, 35. There's that 33. They don't offer this spot. We should get a couple more ticks up to this 35 and then take it off. Take some off at least. That's what we want to see. We're stop right at 32.50. Let the last one ride. Should see stops above this 30, 39 quarter. Next area up, yeah, is that 39 quarter area. You can kind of see it here on the. Here we have kind of like the volume, two little volume gaps and then bigger volume in between. That's kind of telling us like, that's where that seller kind of moved down and pressing and was right on that D open mechanical. NASDAQ looks a little bit stronger than the ES here. I'd like to see some more strength in the tick and start to see this breadth increase if we're going to get some continuation here to the upside. $180 and O for the call puts. They're still offering this 35. It seems to be a little holding ground for them. Big offer just came in 34 quarter, 122 lots. Big buyer around the 34. So I just scalped a couple ticks there. One tick probably. Tesla's starting to climb. Come on. Overall market. Get your shit together. Don't you see that we're trying to go up? All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call it here. Just do a little yeah, low on Steam. Yeah. Just to do a little recap here. The market's balancing higher, right? So here's the B period. We've got C inside of B and D inside of B, and now E is inside of D. So really you're just getting kind of a balanced look up here with the buying tail on the low. So watch for this selling tail to act as a little bit of resistance. Really, I think if we pop the C high, probably take that B high. That target up there is at 75 for me long term. I think that's where the trend is at over the daily. A downtrend. See like here's like it's like 575, but I mean that's kind of that's just being a little bit ambitious, I guess. But we have kind of these common highs right here, common low right here, common highs sitting all around that 38. So we're still kind of in that bracket. We did kind of bounce off this level here. So we have all these kind of common highs right here, common lows sitting right here around this 37. So it's definitely an interesting look, but for the most part, we're still balancing at these upper levels. So we definitely want to just be careful on the breakout. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to keep going, but it does look like it wants to, and it looks like the rest of the overall market is trying to support it. On a break, if it does break the C high, you definitely want to see a breath getting higher. You want to see some strength from the tick. I'd like to see that tick get up there near that 1000. Excuse me. And then we want to see the rest of the sector start to get on board. We're seeing industrials kind of slip, financials is kind of slipping here, staples kind of slipping as well. So we definitely want to see that. And I have my eye on Tesla here. Tesla's coming down a little bit here now, but we're watching that 217 level. Tesla. This 215 is a level that we've talked about on Tesla as support and resistance, and kind of hitting it as a resistance here too. So maybe watch that 215. If Tesla gets above that 215, could start to see some shorts cover and take us up to that 270. Could bring some overall strength in. On the flip side, if the market's not able to break this high, remember we do have this mechanical D low, and that would be that target down there, and then look for a response here off our little stripe here is last the half back in the settle. If there is a nice response, there could be some responsive longs, and that will look to trade back up to that 19. We repaired these poor highs. I mean, this kind of goes back to our more of a macro thesis that this is a responsive seller, right? And that 75 is just right below him, that's what that long target, I think. But if this is a responsive seller, you've got to fix poor highs in order to keep going down, or else it's really just going to be a weak structured look, and it's going to be hard to hold the market down without kind of over leveraging yourself. And so a lot of times when you see these poor highs, either one, having no buyers, or two, the market may be getting a little bit too short, and that may be what we have seen today. So now we can kind of assume, if this holds throughout the end of the day, that this seller in this A excess is now up here in this B excess, selling that 37.50. So we're starting to get a little bit of resistance there. And then today, as we look at the profile, you're getting kind of a P shape again. right? Which is again confirming that the market may have gotten a little bit too short and needed to squeeze out some of these long. We still got that poor low from the overnight and very mechanical trade off that low. So got some volume point of controls that need to really get tested, I think. And just one below. That would be a nice move. We got a little liquidation down to that 36.13. Catch a nice little long there, back up to that 3,800. But yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will catch you all later. Remember, in the Discord, if you guys want the show to continue, my dad's always in there, TJ's always in there, Tommy's always in there, Steve's always in there, Evan's in there a lot of the times too. So just jump in the Discord. There's a channel called Lincoln Logs or TPO Chat. People are sharing their screens and going through ideas. I really do believe that it helps to converse as much as possible. I really enjoy the conversations that we have on the chat, especially, I mean, even when they're not about the market, but when they're about the market, I enjoy them even more because it really helps me maintain perspective. But yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.